All right, everyone, let's start from the previous section that we have completed. We have completed the attachment. We understood that there are different factors that are responsible for cell attachment, and cell attachment is the initial stage where this bacteria, tiny bacteria, uses different surface structures and get attached to the surface. So I'm gonna delete this and we'll start with the microcolony formation. So we have already understood the reversible and irreversible attachment stage, right? So bacteria will attach to various structures, and as you can see over here, let me create it a little bit more visually clear. So I've given the outline, so as you can see now it's more visible, right? Okay, so you can see now bacteria, some of the bacteria, they are irreversibly attached to the surface, and other bacteria, they are trying to attach to these bacteria, and hence forming an aggregate of cells, forming a community, forming a microcolony. We call it microcolony. At this particular stage, what happens is cell, they try to sense the environment, they try to accumulate to a particular region and to form a small colony. It's a kind of behavior that bacteria show to, establish community in the initial stages. So that is really important after the reversible and irreversible stages. So now we have the microcolony, and from microcolony, we will have the next structure or next stage, which is biofilm maturation. And that is where the switch of the bacterial gene expression is going to change, and a lot of different things are going to secreted right at this particular stage. And also at this stage of cell attachment, we'll have secretion of polysaccharides, secretion of proteins, secretion of some of the extracellular DNA. It's also known as eDNA, that will help maintain the structure of this microcolony. Since I'm not showing all these things over here, I'll be showing those things in the maturation stage, right? So let's zoom out this structure and just place it right over here in a very organized way. And let's bring the structure which is next for us, which is the biofilm maturation stage. Here, I'm trying to show all these features very, very clearly so that we can understand what's going on in here, right? So now it's more clear. As you can see over here, we have this substrate. We have cells that are attached to this particular substrate, and they are getting, again, the colony is getting increase in size. Cells are already attached to the surface, but there are some lines that you're seeing over here. These lines are basically the extra polymeric substances, especially the polysaccharides, and there are mainly 3 different types of polysaccharides that are produced in Pseudomonas aeruginosa biofilm. One is Psl polysaccharide, and which is essential for initial attachment adhesions. That is what I told you in the irreversible attachment, right? You need that polysaccharide, Psl polysaccharide. Then you have Pel polysaccharide, which is important for cell-to-cell adhesion, because now what you need is you need cells to attach to each other to form this particular biofilm. So you have Pel that will help cell-to-cell adhesion and also the structural stability of the biofilm. Next, you have alginate. So the layer that you're seeing over here is basically the layer of alginate that I'm trying to create, along with other, extra polymeric proteins and substances. But as you can see here, that is the gelatinous material, particularly important, especially in case of cystic fibrosis biofilms, right? Where the alginate is really, really important component of the biofilms formed by Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So these 3 important polysaccharides you need to remember. Along with them, what you're seeing is DNA also. So DNA not only is present inside the bacteria, but in biofilms, bacteria produces extracellular DNA that becomes integral part of this particular biofilm. Along with that, you have various proteins, matrix proteins, that are released to strengthen this structure. So now the community is getting very, very strong, and the biofilm community is going to mature. So that is why we call it as a maturation stage. There are so many other things. I'll not go into the detail. Maybe we will discuss about those points later on, but these are some of the important points. Along with those, you can see those round structures. You can see these triangles. These are some of the molecules that bacteria produces, including quorum sensing signaling molecules as well as virulence factors. So bacteria is going to, start its the cell-to-cell communication system, and that communication system is going to help bacteria to regulate its virulence, right? We have covered Las as well as RHL system in more detail in our separate videos, but here I'll definitely give you introduction on both of them. So let me just reduce the size of this bring it back, okay, where it was already. Now I'll be bringing last communication system. Why don't I just keep it a little bit right over here along the side so that you can actually see what I'm trying to show you, right? So this is the structure that we have already discussed. Now I'm bringing last system in. So as you can see over here, this is the last system. Now this will happen at cell to cell level. What happens is these signal molecules, these are acyl homoserine lactone molecules, they will be released by the bacteria. They are going to get produced by the bacteria. As you can see, arrow is going from here to here. So these molecules, they are getting produced, and the proteins that are there, these are called inducer proteins. And they can also enter inside the bacteria and bind to transcription regulators. These are regulators. And as you can see, they can go out and they can go in. And depending upon how much molecules are present in the surrounding, bacteria can sense it, and indirectly, it will know how many other bacteria they are present in that particular environment. So that is why it's called quorum sensing. Quorum is population and sensing. I've already told you that identifying how many different organisms or how many bacterial cells are present in the surrounding, right? So bacteria, the signal molecule from the bacteria will enter inside the cell. Transcription regulator is going to get activated. It's going to start the transcription of genes that are regulated by quorum sensing. So as you can see, various virulence factors, they are going to get produced. And you can watch that video. You just have to type last quorum sensing system in Biology Goal and you will be able to see that video. Okay, I've explained this in detail. This is first known signaling system. You never know how many signaling systems are there. The second one, which is right over here, is called RHL quorum sensing system. It works exactly the same way we discussed the other system. Those triangles are the signal molecule. They can go out and then they can also go in and bind to these regulators, right? And those regulators can go and start expression of various genes. And these are completely different genes. You have biocinin associated genes, you have quorum sensing signal molecule producers, you have rhamnolipid producers producing genes. All of these genes they are going to release, and that will help in constructing this biofilm or maturing this biofilm significantly, right? So this is the second system that is known, and I've also made a video on that, separate video on RHL quorum sensing system. So all the signaling system is happening right over here. So we are basically zooming in into this particular biofilm, right? So this is really, really important, this stage. This will decide where the bacterial biofilm is going to go. And if now people like me are working to identify inhibitors who can actually block this signaling pathway, including Las and Rhl system, so that we can stop the formation of biofilms. So this is another strategy to actually, suppress the bacteria, not form the biofilms, and also reduce the ability of the bacteria to colonize the surfaces, right? There are various things we have discussed. Okay, now I can reduce the size, bring it over here. As you can see, it took a lot of time for me to actually design all those things, but I'm happy that I was able to visually represent all those things. By just reading all those things, it's really hard to understand, right, in a presentation mode. So when you see illustrations, when you see those structures, it becomes very, very easy to understand. All right, moving from here, we will move on to the further biofilm development. All right, so I have this structure over here that I'll be showing you, the biofilm development, and then we'll understand the dispersal also, right? How the biofilms, they are getting dispersed, bacteria moving from one place to another one. It's a really interesting phenomena. If you understand it, bacteria is trying to colonize different surfaces, and when the nutrition is gone, then further they move to different places. All right, so as you can see, there's some amazing illustration. Okay, let's fill some color so that it's visually appealing to you. You can actually see different structures. So let me explain this. Now what happens is our small stage that was right over here slowly got matured, and now we have multiple different structures. And in biofilm, we have seen mushroom shaped structures like this. Mushroom shaped structures, they usually get formed in complex biofilms, and they get covered with these extra polymeric substances. Cells are protected, and you have like a complex dynamics of various factors inside the biofilms. So as you can see over here, you can see close to the substrate, I have this dark pink color that represents the low oxygen concentration. So oxygen concentration will be very, very less in this region, and bacteria will be dormant in this particular region. They will be metabolically less active. They will be metabolically very, very inactive, and they will not be motile. and a lot of those dormant features will be there, but on the top region you will have high oxygen concentration, and bacteria will be more active in this region, right? So you have a kind of a different population when it comes to biofilm. You will have different population which is inside the core of the biofilm, and on the periphery you will have more active cells, right? And then you can see biofilm is getting matured. Biofilm is covering almost the entire of this particular substrate. Now it's time for bacteria to explore new surface or just move from one place to another one, right? So as you can see, dispersion stage is the next one where dispersal will happen. And for dispersion, now bacteria is actually trapped inside its own biofilm structure, right? So bacteria should have the ability to actually degrade its own structures. And a lot of research is going into that direction also, that what are the factors that bacteria produces that can degrade this complex biofilm. And it turned out to be there are factors like alginate lysate, lysase, the enzyme that is produced by the bacteria. It can lyse its own alginate. Next is Pel A hydrolases. These are the enzymes that can degrade the Pel A hydrolases so that cell can move around freely. Then you have DNases, because we have found out that DNA is important component of the biofilm also. So all these enzymes, and then you have proteases also. All these enzymes can degrade the extracellular component of its own biofilm and then move out from these regions and then swim through the liquid environment and then move, or they can attach to the solid surface and move through twitching motility that we understood in case of the pili structure, right? Because pili is the one that helps the bacteria in twitching motility. Twitching motility is nothing but bacteria moves from solid surface, because just imagine if you don't have liquid environment, then bacteria actually can move through the surface. That's the twitching motility, right? And then you have swimming motility, swarming motility, twitching motility. All those motility phenotypes, they are responsible for expanding the biofilm and also moving from the biofilms to different regions. So bacteria can colonize new surfaces, spread the infection to other tissues. They can initiate new biofilms themselves, right? So that's why clinically it's really important, because now expansion of the biofilm will happen. So there are some of the important points that we have covered in this one, right? If you understand, we started with understanding the bacterial cell, the surface structures that are there in the bacterial cell, how it attaches to the surface, and after that we understood the colony formation, right? After that maturation stage, we understood the quorum sensing signaling pathway, and then the final dispersion and biofilm development stage we discussed. So all these features, they are actually the different stages of biofilm formation by Pseudomonas aeruginosa, bacteria in general. There are different mechanisms associated with different bacteria. There are different types of biofilms formed by different organisms, and a lot of research is going on in this particular direction, right? So if you are interested in biofilm related research, you can read my published papers, and hopefully you will understand that what we are doing and what we are doing in the area of quorum sensing, what we are doing in the area of biofilm formation in general and biofilm degradation in general, right? Along with that, what I've done is I have created a research goal platform where I host different courses, like courses related to computational biology, drug discovery, courses associated with molecular docking, courses associated with the review writing, data analysis, and most of them are really catered towards microbiology. And if you're interested in biofilm research, those courses are going to help you because I'll take a lot of examples from my own research. So that is really helpful if you're interested in biofilm research. I'll put the link in the description box. All these courses are not that expensive. You get a certificate after completing those courses. You get skills learned from these courses. They are not only theoretical courses. You will understand the theory. You will also apply the skills. You will learn the skills from these courses, so they can help you in your research. That's why the platform is called a research goal, because the platform helps you to understand and achieve your research goals that you have identify for your research. Okay, so I want you to please explore the website. It's free. Many of the courses, many of the course modules, they are free, so you just have to log in and then explore those courses. Do let me know if you have any questions, any doubt. I'll be happy to help. I'll be happy to provide all the support you need. Okay, so let's conclude this. We have covered biofilm formation, biofilm development of Pseudomonas aeruginosa. I will be bringing more videos related to these kind of topics. I hope they're going to help you understand the research work in this particular direction more. So please stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching the entire video.